So right now I am on my way to meet with the very first Eisei-en, or garden designer, that I've scheduled a meeting with here in the city of Kyoto. Needless to say, I'm obviously very excited about this meeting because this means we are actually really starting the process of building Eisei-en Kyoto Bonsai Garden. So we've got the architecture all firmed up, the design of the house is essentially done at this point, and we kind of know the layout of how it's going to be on the property. So I've actually taken the last couple of weeks to spend some time kind of designing out what I think is going to make the best garden design, meaning the most practical, the most beautiful, the easiest to fit the largest number of bonsai in, because again, we're dealing with a very, very small piece of property. And so I've actually got that design with me right now, and I'm going to take it to this particular garden maker and see kind of what their response is to it, because these guys are professionals when it comes to building out gardens, and I am not necessarily a professional in that regard. I mean, I'm a bonsai professional, but in terms of actually designing out, building Japanese style gardens, I don't really know much about that. I know what I need practically, I know what I want it to look like in general, but I'm not 100% sure if my design is exactly what needs to happen to make this the most beautiful thing possible. So in any case, this particular Eisei-en that I'm meeting with today is actually very well known in the city. They manage a couple of very famous gardens here. First of which is Tenryuji on the west side of the city out in Arashiyama. And the second garden is one of my favorites actually, is Tofukuji down in the southeast side of Kyoto. So Tofukuji is actually a bit more of a recent garden that was built by or designed by Shigemori Mide, who's one of my favorite garden designers in Japan. It's a bit more of kind of a modern take on old school kind of kare-sansui dry landscape gardens. But the Eisei-en that I'm meeting with today manages that garden as well as the one out in Arashiyama, in addition to designing new gardens and managing customers' gardens around the city here. So super pumped to head up that way to meet with them this morning. So we're actually heading up into the mountains north of Kyoto right now, and the meeting starts in about 10 minutes. So I'll let you guys know how things turn out.
ここ今工事中なんです。
はい。
石をね、全面こう後ろ芝生やったんですけど、
はい。
今石に張り替えようって言うて、石をずーっとね、古い石をバーっと張ってっていう、忙しくなってストップしちゃったんです。
そうですか。夏は一番忙しいですか？
忙しいのが、お盆、
はい、
そうそう、夏前
ですか？
と、正月前。
正月前ですか？
はい。あっちが材料置き場になってます。
あ、そうですか。
はい。
で、石は日本中からいろんなところから
いろんなところから持ってきます。定期的に見に行って、
はい、
庭作る時ですね。庭作る時にイメージして、こういう石が欲しい、ああいう石が欲しい。はい。それから日本中回って。ここはいろんな小物とか石とかいろいろ置いてます。
ほとんどこういうなんていうの時代がついてるやつ使ってるんですか？
そうですね。そのご予算とかにもよりますけども、
はい。
もうこの中から私らから見たらこう積んでるだけなんですけど、職人はもうこれってすぐ そのためにここに置いてあったのように現場に持って行ってこう、
はい
組み上げるんです。何年も何年も置かれたままなんですけど、
はい、
この現場やったらこの椅子っていうのでね、
はい、
バーッと持っていくんです。
センスがないとそういうことが分かんないですよね。
このつくばいとかもすごい古いもので、
はい、
普通つくばいのこの穴ってね、
はい、
機械で掘るとまっすぐになるんです。こ
あ、
の
はい、
面が、
はい、
これはこうボタンに掘ってあって、人の手でこうボタンに
はい、
掘ってあって、
はい、
すごく目をつまむ。あとあの辺の石とかもすごくこの辺の石とかも面白いです。
そうですね。
それをどう向けで使うかっていうのもまた面白い。
そうですね。
こんだけ下入れてなかったんです。
あ、そうですか。
下全部埋めてて、ここだけ使いたいっていうとこんだけ全部埋めてあって、そうですね。また違う使われ方するのかな。
All right, so that went very, very well. I got to sit down with the owner and CEO of the company for about an hour and a half, and she walked me through the background of the company, the history of the company, and what they do now in terms of the gardens that they manage and the design process and all of that. So it was really cool to finally sit down with somebody who's a professional at this and show them my garden design and get some real-world feedback about the good and the bad of what I put together. So. The way I was able to secure this meeting was actually a bit serendipitous. I was out with a friend last week at a bar, and we were sitting down talking to the owner of the bar, and I mentioned that I was looking for a Eisei-en in the city, a garden maker in the city here. And the bar owner said, "Oh, you're in luck. One of my good customers, his wife, actually owns a company like that here in the city, and he comes in every Friday night right about this time, so he should be here any minute." And sure enough, about 5 minutes later, this fella showed up, sat down at the bar. Bartender introduced us to each other. We ended up chatting for, probably at least an hour, maybe 2 hours, about garden design, about what his wife's company does and all of this. And a week later, I get to come in and meet with her and actually talk about things. So pretty cool and serendipitous situation there. But in any case, I think that went really well. Obviously I haven't made any decisions about which garden company we're going to go with quite yet. I want to get some quotes and some ideas and designs from several other companies in the city before we make that final decision. But in any case, this is a really cool start to the process, and it gives me a lot of hope for actually building out our dream garden here in Kyoto. So I'll keep you guys posted on updates throughout the next few months as to which route we go. But so far, starting off, at least fingers crossed anyway, with a good experience through this process here.
涙の色はエメラルドブルー宝石みたいに光ってる流れ星を見上げていたあの夜もこれも一つですね。当然全部の金額でそれが金額的には2%